Well, welcome, beloveds. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Welcome to the first day of the best of your life. Welcome to a moment of deliciousness. I am Mysterious Miraculi, and I'm here to put some miles on your smile, some wiggle in your giggle, some tingling in your boots, and you're going to have laughter ever after, because joy is a wonderful thing. My message today is centered around the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo on this 10th day of February. And the full moon is powerful in and of itself, and then when we have an eclipse in the mix, it's even that much more powerful. This is probably one of the most powerful full moon eclipses that we've had in a while, largely because so much of the outer planets is fed into this full moon dynamic. Like the planet Uranus is in the mix. You know, the planet Saturn is in the mix. And then we got, let's see, so we got Saturn, we got Uranus, and we got Jupiter. So we've got some of the, the outer planets involved. Outer planets move slower, and so the impact that they make is a longer term impact. So life is, so amazingly beautiful, and we want to dance in the beauty that life is. Many people are a little bit fearful when it comes to full moons or particularly eclipses, because whenever we're dealing with an eclipse, there's always an element of darkness that we have to contend with, because an eclipse is a blocking out of the light. And whenever there's a blocking out of the light, then there's a dealing with the we have to deal with shadows to some extent. Shadows, sometimes representing negative pieces that we have to deal with, specifically at the relationship level, because the full moon is specifically a relationship aspect in astrology. The opposition, full moon is the opposition between the sun and the moon. And that's the nature of relationship, like man and a woman. Man and woman, that is, are in an oppositional alignment with each other. And man and woman come together to reveal one another to each other, as the sun and moon are coming together to reveal one another to each other. Now, when we look at the resonance of the sun and moon from their most exalted perspective, then we see the sun as representing God and the moon as representing Goddess. So when the moon is full, there is a greater opportunity to have a rendezvous with deity, with source, with God, Goddess Absolute. The emotional sensitivity is always greater when there's a full moon, and a lot of things that we deal with in family dynamic can be a lot more sensitive, because the moon is also representative of the family. So there is a hyper emotionality that is up for us. It's a really important time for us to be at peace with who we are as emotional beings, and to be looking at the way in which our emotions can be allies unto us, and they're not meant to be our enemies, and we're not to be meant to be fearful of who we are as emotional beings. This particular full moon is full at 22 degrees of Leo. 22 is a master number, and that brings in even a greater measure of power, as well as a hidden element of Plutonian energy. Because the Pluto energy is very much associated with the master number 22. And when we look at it from the perspective of Eastern Standard Time, it happens at 7:33 Eastern Time. And so there we have another master number, 33. So we're dealing with the 22 as well as the master number 33 relative to 7:33 p.m. And then we're dealing with the fact that numerologically speaking, the 10th of February is a number 4 day, 22, 2 and 2 is 4. So there is a tremendous amount of power that is woven into the resonance of this full moon eclipse. The sun is in Aquarius, the moon is in Leo. So the moon is actually full in Leo, but whenever the moon is full, the sun is exactly opposite that. So the sun is 22 degrees of Aquarius. So wherever the sun is at, it's shining light. So light is being shined upon the essence of freedom and identity. Uranus, or that is Aquarius, which of course is ruled by Uranus, is always centered around freedom. Or that's something that says I'm going to be me, the whole me, and nothing but me in spite of what's expected of me. So in this full moon eclipse, you may be looking at what it is that has been getting in the way of who you are in the expression of your freedom. Or what are the ways in which you've been giving your power away that is diminishing your freedom? This is up to look at. Like it might be relative to family. How is it that you've been giving your power away to family? Whenever the moon is full, and particularly in eclipse, everything in the family dynamics is hypersensitive. Family relative to basic family members, family relative to the very specific beloved. There may be a healing crisis that is dealt with. The planet Chiron, which is the planet of the wounded healer, is also 22 degrees of Pisces. It makes what is called a quincunx, or inconjunct, to this full moon position. And so there may be a healing crisis relative to who we are at the emotional level. An opportunity to come back into harmonious alignment with who we are emotionally, and to bless the shadow aspects of emotions, and also to respond to the difficult emotions as the soil responds to fertilizer. Fertilizer, aka glorified shit. But you never heard a rebuttal from the soil. The soil went into the wisdom of the alchemy and yielded a richer crop, not in spite of the waste, but because of the waste. So it's an important time to look at what are the ways in which we can take the waste of life, the difficulty of life, the challenges of life, the turbulence of life, and let it be as fertilizer unto the soil of our soul, so that we then yield a richer crop of our life experiences as we unfold down the corridors of our life. For we are meant to be empowered by everything. So this full moon carries additional power because it is in the formation of a grand trine. That's when three planets are in a triangular formation, and a grand trine represents a tremendous amount of positive energy. So the moon, is in Leo, trined by Uranus, which is in Aries, and also Saturn, which is in Sagittarius. So it's a fire grand trine. So fire is optimism, it's faith, it's courage, it's exuberance, it's assertiveness. So there's a lot of energy that keys to, assertiveness, that keys to optimism and faith and courage. That's available, but you have to choose it. Life is not going to haphazardly give it to you. You have to choose it, but it is more easily available because of the grand trine. Now, this grand trine also gets even more power because Jupiter then makes an opposition to one of the points in the grand trine. Jupiter opposes Uranus. And so then that grand trine becomes like a kite, the kite that you fly. And the kite configuration in astrology, is one wherein the planet that opposes one of the focal points, in the kite, the one that is opposed becomes what is called the tail of the kite. So the greater measure of power is being unleashed through that particular planet, and in this case, it is the planet Uranus in Aries. So when we look at it from that perspective, then this full moon eclipse is centered tremendously around identity, Aries, because Uranus is in Aries, freedom, Uranus, also the community, the tribe, so it's a great opportunity to look at what is your relationship to community, what is your relationship to tribe. Are you contributing in a good way? Does the tribe and does the community become richer by virtue of your offering? Or are you sucking juice from the tribe? So you want to make sure that what you're offering relative to who you're being in your life is a contribution to the expansion of life. The expansion of the universe, the expansion of life is at the mercy of you showing up, being the full authentic being that you can be, and the glory of who you are, meaning that you express the glory of you as your own version of the Most High. So, are you expressing your godhood in a way that contributes to life? Or are you using that power of God within you as an antagonist? It's important to be in contribution to life. Uranus says, I'm going to be me, the whole me, and nothing but me in spite of what's expected of me. And that's what's on your plate right now. How do you bring that about? How do you achieve that? How do you stand forth and be you even when others in your life that are important to you have other expectations of you? What are you going to do? Are you going to stand in the resonance of fulfilling the intentions of your own soul? Or are you going to say the unsacred yes and please others relative to what they are expecting of you? So it's a real powerful opportunity for you to be the uniqueness of who you are, no matter what is expected of you. Now, Saturn in the mix, Saturn and Sagittarius, in this grand trine, is saying that the elder self is wanting to emerge. There is something relative to the maturity inside of you. Not only the maturity inside of you, but the maturity in life itself, the maturity within our society. It's also, Saturn rules government. And so it's a really important time to send forth positive prayers for balancing the energies of all of our world governments. And it is a time when our prayers can be that much more effective, and our positive visualizations, our positive affirmations, because in this grand trine, the planet Uranus is positive to Saturn, which rules government. The moon is positive to Saturn. Jupiter is positive to Saturn. So there's a lot of really positive energies available. And we definitely want to take advantage of that. It is a powerful thing to resonate with who we are as an emotional being, and to know that our emotions can be allies. And in relationship, you come together to reveal one another to each other. So we want to get things together in a positive way relative to how we dance with relationships. So in your relationships, you want to know that you're having a rendezvous with God. No matter how the other person is behaving, the greater truth is that you are having a rendezvous with God. And if you'll remember that, you'll always feel good about whatever good things you give in a relationship, even if the other person is not reciprocating in like manner. As long as you keep feeling good about what it is that you're giving, then God will absolutely reciprocate. And God is absolutely in appreciation for what you give, and God has always got your back relative to relationship. Relationship is a vessel for the journey of love that has the capacity to lead us back to source, to lead us back to heaven. You know, heaven is a matter of have in. You know, have the inwardness of life. You know, heaven is something that is internal, more so than being an external place. It's a consciousness. And yes, there is a corresponding placement of heaven, but initially, relative to the cause, it is an internal something. Heaven, have in. Partake of the inwardness of the most exalted something that is available. So with all of this, I'm going to now offer a little bit of the didgeridoo with the intention of balancing all of the energies that we're dealing with in this full moon lunar eclipse. And so, my beloveds, know that you're meant to be empowered by everything. And know that this full moon lunar eclipse is meant to be servant unto you and servant unto all of us and not master over you. And all is definitely well in the kingdom of this sacred moment. I am Astarius Miraculi. I love you so much. And I want to also mention, I said in my other video that I'm coming down under to the land of Australia. It'll be my first time going there, though I've been playing the didgeridoo for 22 years now. Very excited about this. I'll be there from the 9th of March until the 22nd of March. And we'll be offering some workshops and participating in a rebirthing retreat and concerts, and it's just going to be an amazing experience. If you'd like to get some information on that, then go to Summer Healing Yoga on Facebook, and you can get all of the particulars with regards to that. I'll also be offering some individual sessions while I'm there, so I'd love to see you in Australia. It's going to be specifically Melbourne, Australia. And I'm very excited about this, and I'm excited about connecting with my Australian beloveds who I've been linked up with, by way of the World Wide Web for a very long time now. And also I'm available for psychic astrology readings and healings, transmissions with the didgeridoo, with vocal harmonics, and with Reiki. I have a number of CDs and a couple of books which you can access all through my website. You know, you can hear sound clips and you can read excerpts from my book, so please follow the link and visit my website. And also I have a donation button there in the event that you might want to offer a donation or a tithe in appreciation for these things that I'm putting out there. I appreciate when we play in the field of win-win. Thank you so much if you are moved to do that. So I'm here, as I said before, to put some miles on your smile, some wiggle in your giggle, some tingling in your boots, and you'll have laughter ever after. Aho, Ashe, Amen, Namaste, Hotep, In Lakesh, Alakin, Shalom, Satnam, Hariom. Our sacred juices are cooked and infinitely expanding.